when you lie down tonight. There are two versions of you. One is at the surface, where the waves arrive, where the wind moves everything, where thoughts come and go without asking permission. That version knows exhaustion, knows worry, knows the feeling that there is too much left undone. And there is another version that lives at the bottom, where waves don't reach, where the noise of the surface is a distant echo, almost inaudible, where the water is so still it feels like time doesn't exist. Tonight you are not going to fight the waves. You are not going to try to calm the surface. You are going to descend slowly with each breath, a little deeper, until you reach where you have always been, the bottom. Think about how many times today you stayed at the surface, fighting a wave that arrived, then another, then another. That is how the surface works. There is always another wave, always another thought demanding attention, another problem that feels urgent, another conversation to replay. But waves only exist at the surface. At 10 meters deep, there are no waves. Only water moving gently. At 50 meters, there is not even that. Only stillness. And at the bottom, there is something that has never moved. That does not know what a wave is. That has been still since before you were born. That is where we are going tonight. Find your position. Let the bed receive you. Close your eyes and begin to imagine you're floating, not in air, in water, a calm sea. The surface barely moves. The sun has gone. Night has taken the water, and you are on your back, floating without effort, as if the sea knows exactly how much your body weighs and decides to hold it. Notice the contact. The water has temperature, not cold, not warm. Exactly the temperature of your body, as if the sea and you are the same thing. There is a reason the human body is 70% water. We are not separate from the ocean. We are made of it. The same minerals, the same salinity, the same ancient memory. When you float in the sea, something recognizes itself. Something in your cell says, I know this place. I have always known this place. That recognition is what we are reaching for tonight. Not something new. Something remembered. Breathe. With each inhale, you rise slightly. With each exhale, you sink. The sea breathes with you. Now the descent begins. Not all at once. Gently. Like a leaf falling through water. 10 meters deep. The surface is already far above. You can see it up there. A diffuse glow. The waves still moving. The thoughts still there. But you are down here. And down here, they don't reach. Notice how the sound changes. Above there was noise. Here there is only a soft hum. Like the silence that silence has. Let your shoulders release into that silence. Your arms. Your hands. Everything you carry today stays above, at the surface. You have already descended. "30 meters. The light changes here. Not white anymore. Blue. A deep and quiet blue. As if the night sky had moved inside the water. At this depth, the fish have no hurry. They move slowly, without destination, just existing. That is you now, without destination, without hurry, just existing. There is something freeing in that word. Existing. Not doing. Not achieving. Not solving. Just existing. The ocean has been existing for 4 billion years. Without trying anything. Without worrying about anything. Just being ocean. Tonight, You can do that too. Just be, without adding anything, without taking anything away. Just you here at 30 meters, heart of the water, heart of the silence. There are creatures at this depth that spend their entire lives here. They were born here. They will die here. And they are not lost. They are exactly where they belong. You belong here too. Not permanently. Just for tonight. The surface will still be there in the morning, with all its urgency, with all its demands. But for now, you are here, at 30 meters, where nothing is urgent, where nothing demands anything, where the only thing that exists is this. Feel the weight of your legs, right thigh, calf, foot, left thigh, calf, foot. Heavy, as if the water holds them completely, without you having to do anything. "50 meters. No waves here. No wind. No surface. Only still water in every direction." Sydney Banks said that thought lives at the surface. That when you stop feeding it, it dissolves on its own, like a wave that reaches the shore and disappears. The thought needs you to feed it to survive. It needs you to look at it, to analyze it, to take sides. But if you do nothing, if you just let it be, it loses its strength, like a wave breaking on the shore. It crashes and disappears without you having done anything to stop it. At 50 meters, the thought that seemed urgent an hour ago is just water here. Just observe how it dissolves in the blue, as everything dissolves at the ocean floor. This is the deepest kind of rest. Not rest from physical tiredness. Rest from mental momentum. The momentum that keeps things running even when you stop. The thoughts that keep thinking themselves. The plans that keep planning themselves. At 50 meters, the momentum runs out. There is no fuel for it here. It slows, then stops. And in the silence it leaves behind, something else is waiting. Something that was there all along. Underneath the momentum. Underneath the noise. Underneath everything. $80 meters. Light barely reaches here, but there is another light. Bioluminescence. Small points of blue and green light floating around you, as if the ocean had its own stars. They don't need the sun to shine. They produce their own light from within. You have that too. Every diver who has descended into the deep describes the same thing. At a certain depth, something in the mind goes quiet. Not forced quiet. Natural quiet. The kind that comes when the surface is too far away to matter. The kind that reveals what was underneath all along. A steadiness that was never touched by the waves. A presence that had nothing to prove. You are approaching that now. Feel it beginning to emerge. A light that doesn't depend on things going well. That doesn't go out when things go badly. That simply is. At the bottom. Waiting. Release your chest. Release your jaw. Release your forehead. Let everything descend with you. $100. The world above no longer exists from here. No schedules. No notifications. Nothing to solve tonight. Only the water. And you. And the stillness that joins them. Imagine you can look upward from here. The surface is a distant shimmer. Very far. You can see the shadows of the waves moving up there. But you can't hear them. You can't feel them. From here, they are just shadows. Everything that seemed urgent from the surface looks different from here. Smaller. More manageable. As if distance had removed its weight. That is what deep sleep does. It takes you so far from the surface. that when you return tomorrow, things weigh less. Not because they changed, but because you rested at the bottom. And from the bottom, everything looks clearer. Notice something about this moment right now. Your body is already heavier than when you started. Your breathing is already slower. Your mind is already quieter. You didn't force any of that. It happened on its own. Because the body knows the way down. It has known it forever. It has been making this descent every night. Tonight you are making it consciously, following the current, trusting the depth. Still descending. The bottom is close, but there is no hurry. The ocean has no hurry, and neither do you. 150 meters. Here there are creatures that have never seen sunlight, that were born in complete darkness, and they are perfectly in their place. They are not missing anything. They don't need the surface to exist. They found everything they need down here. You have that too. A center that doesn't need daylight to function. That doesn't need things to be going well. That doesn't need approval. That simply exists. Still. Constant. At the bottom. Each time you reach this depth in your life, even if you didn't call it that, it was in those moments of absolute silence. A sunrise that caught you off guard. An instant between breaths when the mind went quiet on its own. A conversation that went so deep it stopped being words. Those moments didn't happen because you searched for them. They arrived when the surface was calm. Tonight the surface is calm, and you're descending toward those moments, toward the place that makes them possible. Let your arms sink deeper into the water. Your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, as if the ocean claimed them gently, without force. Just wait. Just surrender. There is a particular kind of rest that only happens at depth. Divers describe it. A moment when the awareness of the surface completely fades. when the world up there stops feeling real, and down here becomes the only reality there is. That is not a loss. It is a release. The release of the constant effort to keep track of everything, to stay on top of things, to keep the surface managed. Down here, there is nothing to manage, nothing to keep track of, nothing to stay on top of. Just the water, just the depth, just this. Sydney Banks spent his whole life trying to explain something simple: that insomnia does not live in the body. It lives in thought. And thought can only exist at the surface, where there is energy, where there is oxygen to feed it, where there is light. But at the bottom of the ocean, thought cannot breathe. It has no fuel, nothing to hold on to. That is why deep sleep is so restorative. Not because the problem disappears. It is because you go so far from it that it loses its power over you for a few hours, the hours you need. And when you return to the surface, the thought will still be there, but you will have rested at the bottom. And that changes everything. And when you come back from there, something will have shifted. You won't know exactly what, but you'll feel it. In the way the morning coffee tastes different. In the way last night's problem feels smaller. In that strange lightness that sometimes accompanies the best mornings. That doesn't come from sleep alone. It comes from the bottom. From having spent hours where thought cannot reach. This is the difference between resting and sleeping. Sleeping is closing your eyes. Resting is reaching the bottom. There are people who sleep 8 hours and wake up more tired because they never descended. They stayed at the surface all night, turning through the waves. And there are people who sleep 5 hours and wake up renewed because they reach the bottom, because they release the surface completely. Tonight you have already arrived. You are already here. The only thing left is to stay. Let the bottom hold you. Let the ocean do what it knows how to do. Let the body receive what it needs without you having to do anything more. $200. Here the water has a constant temperature. It never changes. Indifferent to what happens above, to storms, to hurricanes, to the chaos of the surface. Here it is always the same. Still, dark, vast, and you're inside that now. Part of that constancy, part of that stillness that depends on nothing. How many times during the day are you truly still? Not physically still. Still inside. Without processing something. Without anticipating something. Without reviewing something. Almost never. The modern mind doesn't know how to be at the bottom. It only knows how to swim at the surface. From wave to wave. From thought to thought. But the body remembers the bottom. It has always known it. Every night you truly sleep. The body returns there without you asking it to. Tonight you are doing it consciously. You are choosing to descend. Release whatever tension remains in your neck. And notice something about your mind right now. It is slower than when you started. The thoughts come less frequently. And when they do come, they don't seem as important. That is depth doing its work. That is what happens when you stop feeding the surface. The urgency fades. The weight lightens. The noise drops. And something underneath begins to emerge. Something quiet. Something steady. Something that was never the problem. That is what has been waiting for you at the bottom. Not a solution. Not an answer. Just rest. The deepest kind there is. The back of your head. Your shoulders. Let your head fall into the pillow, as if it weighs twice what it normally does, as if the water holds it from below. You are at the bottom. There is no deeper. You have arrived. Here there are no words. Here thoughts don't last. They arrive and dissolve, like salt dissolves in water without leaving a trace. The presence the Baal Shem Tov spoke of, the one that holds everything from within, lives here, at the bottom, not in the noise of the surface, not in the urgency of waves. Here, in the stillness that needs no explanation, in the silence that exists before any thought. The ocean has been here for 4 billion years. It has seen everything come and go. The dinosaurs, the empires, the civilizations, and it is still here, still at the bottom, indifferent to the passing of time. There is something in you that also has that depth. Not you as a person, but what you are beneath the person. The witness that observes. The one that has watched your own waves pass. Your own storms. Your own years. That is at the bottom. And tonight you are visiting it. As you visit an old friend. This is your place. You didn't find it tonight. It was always here. You only descended to remember it. And the next time the surface gets difficult, when the waves are higher than usual, when the thoughts won't stop, you will remember that the bottom exists, that it always existed, that no matter how much noise there is above, below it is always still. That changes something, knowing the bottom exists, even when you are not in it, already makes you freer, because you know you can descend whenever you want, whenever you need, like tonight. And you don't need any special technique to do it. You don't need to learn anything new. The body already knows the way. It travels it every time you truly sleep. You only needed to know that the bottom exists, that it has a name, that you can visit it intentionally. And now you know. everything you are still holding. Let it go. At this depth, there is nothing left to hold. Only the bottom. Only the still water. Only you. And something that has no name, but that you can feel. A presence underneath everything. Underneath the depth. Underneath the water. Underneath even the ocean. The same presence that makes your heart beat without asking. That makes the cells divide and repair. That runs everything from beneath. You don't have to name it. You don't have to understand it. You only have to rest in it, as you are resting now, at the bottom, in the deep. Sleeping. Sleeping.